am, holy lordy. I have to make coffee. So while I am waiting for everyone to come in and talk to me, I'm going to make coffee and talk to myself. It's like, you know, typical Thursday. I always feel bad for those of you who watch on the replay, because you sit here for like 2 minutes, probably skipping ahead to like try to get to any kind of conversation. So, hello, replayers. Coffee. Dale, you are always first. Good morning. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Shish. Eat your food. You have no life. Oh, that's not true at all. You can't. It's impossible. I'm pretty sure it's impossible to be a parent and not have a life. Granted, your kids are your life, but it's an exciting life. I was watching a video earlier, and then I saw the time, and I was like, oh my God. Because time math is not my friend. All right, let me share the link. Connor and Emma were up from like 1 a.m. on. Not even sure they are asleep, but they are quiet. Oh my God. My kids have been doing that. I mean, finally last night, both kids went to bed at a semi-decent time. Christopher fell asleep around 7-ish, and Piper fell asleep around 10:30-ish. But these past week, since they spent a week at their dad's, trying to get their schedule back in place has been painful. You know what I mean? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Which twin was that? What? Let me share the link. There we go. How are you, Kimmy and Jessica? Ooh, I almost put TikTok. That would have been not good. Did you all sign up for Georgia's restricted marketing? I saw your screen, the video you were watching. Oh, Robert Welsh. He was doing some TikTok lip hacks. I was like, what twin? What are you talking about? Trying to wake my brain up. I feel that. Me too, obviously. Hello, Alex. You ready to wrap up NaNoWriMo today? I have to get caught back up. Yesterday I was like, I don't have very far to go. But then I got nothing done in my project yesterday. I got a lot done at work. Restricted marketing. You did good. Yes. Kimmy, go check the Discord. I'll share it again inside Word. Hang on. But I posted it in general. Because, there we go. You're not Kimmy in here, are you? Yes, you are. Why did I think she dances with demons? Okay. Anyway, sorry. Okay. So my friend Georgia is a marketing and business coach, right? She doesn't typically, she doesn't specifically work with authors. She works with other businesses and stuff, and especially freelancers, social media managers. But she was telling me and a bunch of other people that she was going to, for this week, well, no. First, it was going to be for Black Friday. Then she switched it out to Cyber Monday, and now it's going to be the whole week. But basically, one of the things she specializes in, when she started as a social media manager, was in those restricted areas, like spicy adult toys and things of those, things along those lines that aren't necessarily within the realm of community guidelines for Facebook, things that could get your ads account banned and stuff. Well, she's got this marketing toolkit for naughty businesses, as she puts it. And so I had asked her, I said, do you think that'll work for authors? Because a lot of people in my group, they write super spicy things or things with a lot of different triggers that could be controversial, dark romance, dark fantasy, that they're always worried about if they start marketing, they'll get shadow banned or something. And she was like, oh yeah, that'll work. And I was, okay. I also sent it to my friend, thought it might help her. Nice. Good morning, Natalie. So I figured if everyone signed up and got that toolkit, because it's free, we could integrate it into the book marketing thing that we're doing in January. Need 16,814 to finish the stretch goals. Nice. You can do that today, right? Even if you can't do it today, I know you can do it this week. I am not saying kill yourself to do it today. Sure. My 9-year-old decided to get all smart this morning. She's got that preteen thing down pat. So last night we were having a discussion because she started falling behind in her homework. It's all because homework is boring. She just doesn't like sitting down for those 5 minutes, and she hates repeated homework. Meaning, if she did a worksheet in class on, say, fractions, the last thing she wants to do is come home and do fractions. She's like, I already learned this. I don't need to learn it again. I already did a worksheet. Why am I doing another one? She hates it. Hi, Ember. So we had a discussion last night, and I said, look, right now, your one job is to prove to the school that you know what you're doing, okay? Homework is not about punishment, and it's not about, it's not about this or that or the other thing. It's about practicing what you've learned so that you can prove to the teacher that you learned it, so that the teacher can prove to the board that they taught you. That's all it is. And it is your number one most important job. It is more important than everything else. I said, your homework is even more important than cleaning your room. It is the most important thing, period. That's what I want you to concentrate on, okay? So she said, okay. She thinks she understands. I said, okay. So this morning we're walking to school. And she goes, so what you're telling me is, this is out of the blue, right? You ever do that? You ever wake up 3 weeks later and just continue the conversation with no context? Yeah. So she goes, so what you're telling me is doing my homework is even more important than not crossing the street when there's a car coming. I was like, what? She's like, which is more important, homework or safety, Mom? Okay. Girl, you better shut up. Ugh. She's great. I love her. She's too smart for me, though, sometimes. I'm like, listen, don't try to outsmart me, okay? Because I'm either going to win or I'm going to get really mad. Yeah. See, and she, the thing is with her homework is that it's literally, first off, it's not even as much homework as I used to get. So the amount of homework, it feels like a more reasonable amount than the homework that I used to get. But also, when I sit down with her and like grill her about it, it takes her 3 minutes. Like it takes her no time. It's not stuff that she doesn't know. It's not information she's struggling with, at least not right now. She only struggles with the idea of having to do it. Safety, definitely safety, right? Mhm. So how is everyone else doing today? Malicious compliance. Yeah. She's definitely got that part down. And then and last night she came down. So there was a bit of a snafu with the kids, right? They get excited, they start playing, they get excited, they get riled up. I'm trying to work. I tell them to go upstairs. They go upstairs and immediately one of them gets hurt. So I have to stop working to go upstairs to like pull them apart, right? Okay, fine. So with that context in mind, I called Christopher down first and talked to him, and I said, do you understand why I was mad? And he said no. And then we talked about it, and I said, when you start getting tired, and right now it's bedtime, when you start getting tired, you forget where your hands and your feet are, and you throw something or you spin really hard or something, and that's why you kicked Piper in the face, right? So that's why I got mad. It wasn't the accident. Accidents happen. It was the fact that I had been trying to get you to calm down. I had been trying to get you to settle down, and you just didn't want to. And because you didn't want to, and because you were discombobulated and uncoordinated, she got hurt. And she didn't have to get hurt. If you had been listening, she wouldn't have gotten hurt, right? Got my hug. He got his hug. Went upstairs. He got ready for bed. Great. Called Piper down to do the same thing, right? So as I'm talking to her, eventually she's like, picking at her ears and she's fidgeting and it's very distracting. But she's like doing all the fidgets. And she goes, okay, Mom, can I eat something now? I was like, we're going to finish the conversation before you get any kind of dessert. like, okay. And she's like, okay, no, I get it. Okay, can I eat something? And I said, I don't know. Can I have a hug? So she like hung herself over me and she like had her arms like this. I said, no, I want a real hug. If you're going to say, yes, I can have a hug, then I want a real hug. I won't force you to hug me, but if you are going to choose to hug me, I want it to be real. She goes, this is a real hug. I said, no, this is a preteen flop over. Like, I don't know what this is, which at least made her laugh. I downloaded the freebies from yesterday. I don't think it pertains to me, but freebies. It might not pertain to you right now because that toolkit specifically is more for like businesses that are in restricted spaces and or marginalized voices. So it's like, adult toys and stuff. Spaces that have restrictions placed on them for marketing, particularly in social media. So what I did was I asked Georgia when she was telling me about it, I asked her, I said, would that work for authors who write those, controversial, spicier books? Because a lot of times authors will ask me about how can they market their book when their book has so many triggers or is on the dark side or whatever without getting shadow banned or something. So make sure that she doesn't agree with the concept of homework. It is a teen flop, right? Topaz. Side note, the new chapters I'm inserting into my book are just about the only non-color white room chapters in my book. Topaz. I watched your tutorial on evergreen newsletters. Yay! Can we talk about what, in your experience, makes a good lead magnet? Story, swag, something else. Okay. So swag, no. Only because swag requires shipping most of the time, unless you're talking like a digital bookmark or something like that. But, well, could be printables. But swag is difficult. Another reason, well, and it also depends, too, on the type of swag. Because some people use these terms interchangeably, swag, merch, right? One of them is more about the author and the author's brand. So it might have like quotes by the author. For example, I've got in my shop, I've got a couple of mugs that are just my quotes, right? One of them is someday you're going to be someone's favorite author. One of them is yish. These are quotes I say all the time. They're quotes that, as far as I know, I coined. Things along those lines. I also have things in my shop that are more just generalized writer specific, right? I have pajamas that say we write at dawn, right? I've got socks that have like quills on it that says this is my real job, right? I've got a mug even that has like an inkwell and a quill that says this is my real job, right? That is not specific to me or my brand, but it's specific to writers. One is merch, one is swag. I'm not entirely sure which is which, but people use them interchangeably. So assuming that merch is merchandise for your readers that could just be book specific, but not necessarily you specific. And going with swag would be like author swag, like buy my face on a mug. The swag itself is not going to do all that much for you until you have a big name, right? Whereas the merch might. So if you have a mug that says like book nerd and it has a pile of books, readers are likely going to buy the mug, versus if you have a mug with your face on it that says book nerd, you're already, people who are already fans of you will likely buy that. So that's one thing. At dawn we write. Yeah. Excuse me. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is as you're putting things together, and some of this is going to change, but as you're putting something together, are you putting it together for your fan, or are you putting it together for someone who doesn't know you yet, someone who's out there like looking for things? I need to surround myself with these things. Coffee mug on my desk right now. Oh, yay! So that's the one thing. And you can have different levels. You can have different products for different, at different levels. You can have different lead magnets for different levels. The one thing you want to make sure of at any of those levels is think about, how is the person finding it? So in the case where they are already a fan of yours, they're already following you on social media, how did they find it? Probably because you talked about it somewhere, right? People, by people I mean y'all, will buy my planner when I like hold it up on YouTube and say, oh my God, did you know I had a planner? But some, you know, like if you already know me, it's because I'm the one telling you to go buy it. Versus someone searching who doesn't know you, someone does a search for something, will they find your thing? So think about, you know, which one of those, it's called cold audience, warm audience. Warm audience already knows you. They're already fans of yours. If you say, hey, go buy this, they tend to like jump and go buy it because they love you and they know you and they trust you. Other people, you got to work a little bit harder because it's a colder audience and they looked like on Google or on TikTok and they didn't see you first and they were searching for whatever. So depending on how they're going to find you, who it is that's looking for you, and then my number one thing for any lead magnet, number one, it has to be something people pay for. Absolutely. Like if I look at my lead magnet and it's the exact same as everyone else's lead magnet, I'll go make something else. I'll delete it. I'll remove it. I'll add to it. I'll do something. I'll go make something else because I want my lead magnet needs to be something that people actually legit pay for. So on my freelance writing side, for example, I've got the Freelancer Fast Track, which is a course, just a really quick course on how to start up a business as a freelance writer, right? It's free. I don't sell it. It's got more modules in there than other people's free courses. It beats other people's paid stuff. I know that there are people out there looking to buy a course like that. I give it away for free. So that's why I don't like free chapters, because no one pays for a free chapter. People will pay for a free book. That doesn't make any freaking sense at all. No one pays money for a chapter. Everyone pays money for a complete story, right? Or whether it be a short story or a book or whatever, but they will pay money for that. Ergo, they will give you an email address for it. So that's like, understand who you're making it for, understand how they're finding it, and then is it something they would pay for? Even though you're giving it away for free, is it something they would pay for? Create that, and it's like the trifecta of a lead magnet. Imposter syndrome is already trying to visit. Oh no. You wish writing was your real job. It is, Ember. It is. Okay. Imposter syndrome. All right. The cure for imposter syndrome, Natalie, is action. Okay? So that's like, because then you're doing it. It's actually, let me rephrase that. The cure for imposter syndrome is mindful action. Mindful. You have to like recognize that you're doing the things, because so many times we end up going, oh, I'm not a writer because I didn't get any writing done today. Well, I did do 200 words, but that's not as much as I wanted to do, so I don't feel like a writer because it was only 200 words. 200 words. Like, what? That's a full page. It's progress. And if we completely diminish our progress, if we constantly look at what progress we're making and say it's not enough to make me feel like a writer, or it's not enough to make me feel like I'm good enough at this, or whatever, then we allow the imposter syndrome to come in, and we allow it to continue lying to us and say, yeah, see, you're not a real writer. You can't do this. Because if you could do this, that the 200 words would be 2,000 words, not 200. And so we have to actually recognize that the progress is progress, even if it's small. And that means that we're doing it. And that means that we're taking action. And that means we're writing. And ergo, we are a writer. It means we are an author. We're doing the things, but you have to recognize that you're doing the things. The other thing that you can do, and actually, excuse me, you're going to get this because you ordered the planner. when you get your planner, look at, where is it? Because I cover this in here. Brain dump, writing routine, inspiration. No, here we go. Okay, it's right near the beginning. This says page 15. I think it'll be the same. You got the bigger planner, but I think it'll be the same, but just in case it might be a page or two off. Getting ahead of imposter syndrome. There are 6 little squares in here, right? They're blank on the other side so that you can rip the page out and write and cut these up. And what you're going to do is on this side, and you don't have to have the planner to do this. You can grab a piece of printer paper or something and like cut it up into 6 squares or whatever. But on this side where it says my imposter says, write down what it says. Like my imposter says I'm not expert enough to do this. My imposter says that my ADHD won't let me finish. My imposter says that I don't know grammar well enough to be able to write a book. My imposter said, whatever your imposter is telling you, one on each, right? On the other side, after you cut them out, on the other side, you're going to prove it wrong. So if your imposter says that you won't be able to finish a book because you have ADHD, then on the other side, the cure of that is, but I know when I have my tools in place and when I make use of the correct reminders and alarms and et cetera, I have been able to finish other things with my ADHD, so I can do this. If your imposter is saying you are not a good enough writer, then write down a time. Well, you know what? My teacher told me in 5th grade that I was a good writer. And she could have failed me. She didn't have to tell me that because y'all, we have this tendency to think that our 5th grade teachers had to tell us we were good writers. They didn't have to tell you that you were a good writer. They could have failed you. They didn't have to tell you anything. They could have been like, oh, that's a nice sentence. Do you like math? Like, they didn't have to tell you that you were a good writer. They didn't have to. So use that as proof. Or it could be your kid. And you know what? While we're at it, your mom didn't have to tell you that you were a good writer either. She didn't have to just because she's your mom. She definitely could have steered you a whole different way. If she told you were a good writer, it's because she believed you could be a writer. Like, that's all there is to it. Anyway, you can say, well, if your imposter says you don't understand grammar and spelling well enough to write a book, on the other side, that's what editors are for. That's what ghostwriters are for. That's what, that's what beta readers and alpha readers and et cetera. There are tools available. You don't have to know spelling and grammar. Write that as your cure. Get all of these cut up, cut out, and then grab like a hat or bowl, a cup, whatever you have, put it on your desk. If it's your writing mug, even better, or if it's a writing mug, even better. But like this has coffee in it, but have a mug on your desk, put all of those pieces in there. And when you feel your imposter syndrome coming up, when you feel that level of doubt coming up, start pulling those out and read the proof that you can do this over and over and over again until you start believing it. I love you, Big. I love you too. My imposter syndrome is writing a heap of words, but then thinking they were absolute rubbish. I've wasted all that time, writing something terrible. But see, you haven't wasted time. Missy, my darling, you have not wasted time because you can edit those words. You can't edit a blank page, right? Who said that? I don't remember who said it. You can't edit a blank page. If you get the words out, you get them down, and you get the story. It doesn't have to be a great story. This is like, there is a TikTok, I don't remember, one of those like prompts once upon a time that was like, what's the most controversial thing you've ever said? Stitch this and let me know. And if you go through my TikTok profile, eventually you'll find it, where I said there's no such thing as a well-written book. There's no such thing as a well-written book. We call it well-written because they are words and they have been written, but it's all in the editing. It's like, it's in the editing where we put things together, where we fix the plot holes, where we restructure our sentences and choose the right words. That's all in the editing. But we can't do that if we don't have the writing. So even if it's rubbish writing, it doesn't matter. What matters is, like, it's there. And that's why y'all know Seisha. Seisha's entire thing is the shitty first draft. Like her coaching business, her rooms on Clubhouse, her club on Clubhouse for that matter at the time. Shitty first draft, because it's all about get the crap out, download it from your brain using the words that you have, because you can always fix it. You can always fix it. That comment about 5th grade teachers hit me in the feels. I had a 5th grade teacher. Oh, yay, so did I. I loved my 5th grade teacher. I don't have imposter syndrome, but I think sometimes I self-sabotage because I don't like being told what to do, even if I'm the one telling myself. That I can't really help you with, because I'm the same way, and I don't know how to get over that. I struggle with telling myself what to do and then going, well, I don't have to do that. Like, who says I have to do that? I'm going to turn around and do this. Like, I don't know if that's ADHD or rebellion or just I'm tired or whatnot, but I do the exact same thing. So when you figure that out, tell me, what notebook is that? That is my planner. So actually, I think, hang on. Tag products first. Okay. Because if I can figure out how to do this, I cannot figure out how to do this. I guess this is something that I have to do ahead of time. I can't do like while we're already live. I have to do it before I go live, I guess. But if you look at my shop, so my shop is at glitzandgrammar.com, all one word, glitz and grammar, not glamour. People try it and then they get mad at me. Grammar. But also, like, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see it says shop, and my TikTok and my Facebook and so on and so forth. Like, I'm everywhere. But anyway, this is my planner. So I have been putting out this planner every year since 2016. 2017 was the first time I released it out onto Amazon. And then every year I updated it. It's filled with, what I did was all the tools that I used as a ghostwriter to help my clients. I put them all together. And a lot of the tools are around mindset, because I get a lot of clients who need help from a ghostwriter. They all feel the imposter syndrome, the time management, they all feel that. So these are like every tool that I have ever come up with. Excuse me. And they're all arranged, like the setup is like setting up your career as an author, planning your book, the actual writing. There's like sprint trackers and stuff. Then getting into like after writing. So getting into like self-editing, querying. There's a query tracker in there, a marketing plan overview, stuff like that. So it's like, it's to get you through from your idea, like right up and ready to publish. And then this one, so this is the latest one. And I don't like, there's really not much else. There's maybe one or two in the future that I might update and throw in more tools. But look, this has everything. If you ever find one of the old ones, it was like, I'm not kidding. When I say like those first couple that came out, that was like that. Like it was thin. And then if you ever see any that has the year on it, those are also old. They're still good, don't get me wrong. If you happen to find like the one from 2022 or the one from 2021 or whatever, where it says like write your book in 2021, like the only reason I had the dates on there was to show that it was a new and updated one. And then this year I removed the year because I was like, this is as complete as it's ever going to be. Gotta run. Work is calling. All right, Ember, have a great day. Can't edit a blank page. Can only edit when there are words on papers. The Nora. Okay. All right. I knew someone said it, but yeah, and it's completely true. My mom totally did push me the wrong way. My imposter says I can't make money for all the books. That's different than you can't be a writer. Marketing is too complicated for me because it's so easy for other people. That is where I'm at. So I had the mom, I had the whole family, the whole friggin' family who was telling me you can't make any money in writing. That is very different than you can't be a writer. So that's why when I said, like the imposter said, if you had the mom or whomever who said you can't make any money writing, that's a whole other thing, in which case your proof becomes, but look, these people are. And not the famous ones. Like, I mean, it's easy for any of us to like be like, well, but look, Sarah J. Maas is making money and her books aren't even all that great. You know, like it's easy for us to look at the famous authors and be like, yes, you can. But that's like saying, you know, can you make money playing football? Sure. Do you have to be an NFL player to do it though? Like, I don't know. But me, I'm not famous. I'm making money writing. I'm not famous. Use me as your proof. Yes, I can because Naomi did it. In marketing, a lot of people overcomplicate marketing. A lot of people make it easy. And honestly, I'm one of those people who feel like marketing is easy. Once you get over that initial overcomplication, like once it finally clicks, and sometimes it just takes longer to click for some people than it does for others. But once it finally clicks, it's one of those deals where you start doing it and it starts feeling good. And then you're like, why was I struggling? This is so easy. And then you start telling other people. Naomi knows how to wrap her head around marketing. Easy things are hard. Hard things are easy. Sometimes, yes. But it took me a while to wrap my head around marketing too. Don't get me wrong. Like it took me a while. But once I did, I was like, oh my God, duh. And part of my problem is that I started marketing in television as my head for 44 years. Okay. How can I help you wrap your head around marketing? What's one of your questions about marketing? Gasp. Did that help? I'm sorry. Where does my daughter get it? I've got a whiteboard too. Hold on, let me grab a whiteboard because I can get into this. Ha! I can't pinpoint my issue. I just know when I think I can do it, I freeze up and wonder if I am doing it right. No, not the whiteboard. You know why I have the whiteboard? Because I started putting together that series for TikTok on building an author platform. And so I had the whiteboard out because I was using the whiteboard in the series. Whiteboard of world domination. Okay, so the whiteboard and the thwackers, they are my favorite tools. All right. So let's start with marketing. Okay, I know what I want to say. Hang on. My brain needs to catch up. Hang on. Okay, so there are basically 3 words, and I know you've heard me say this before, Alex, and that's fine. There are 3 words that people tend to use interchangeably, and because they use it interchangeably, it gets really confusing really fast on when to do what and what they all are, and so on and so forth. There's the sale or sales, there's promotions, and then there's marketing. And at a glance, they all, I'm backwards. They all sound, I gasped at your Sarah J. Maas comment. Sorry. But at a glance, they all feel like the same thing, right? Sales, promotions, marketing. And part of the reason they all feel like the same thing at a glance is because everyone uses them interchangeably. How many times have you said, I'm so bad at, or heard someone else say, like, I'm not really good at marketing. I just can't seem to get any sales. Or I'm not really good at marketing because I don't want to sound salesy. That is a symptom that people are getting marketing and sales confused. They're not the same thing. When you contact a business, they have a sales department, then they have a marketing department because they're different. They're not the same thing. And yet, a lot of times, if you're hiring, say, a social media manager to handle your marketing, they'll be like, what is the ROI? Well, social media marketing that's not the only measure of success. The ROI being the return on investment. Like, the ROI is that your brand will be bigger, your platform will grow, but the actual sales, that's not up to the social media manager, is it? Like, that's not what they do. They are not salespeople. So these are very different. If I define a sale is a transaction, right? The sale is the transaction. Can be free, can be money. So, any transaction, consider it sales. Someone gives you an email address, you give them a free book. That is a sale. That is a transaction, right? Someone gives you money, you give them a paid book. That is a sale. The sale itself is the actual exchange of value. It's the actual exchange of you. I'm going to give you this thing and you're going to pay for it with whatever, with your data, with your email, with your money, with your credit card, etc. But I'm going to give you this thing that you feel is valuable. And in exchange, you're going to give me what I want, whatever it is that I'm trying to grow. That is the sale. The promotion is when you tell people where the sale is or how to get to the sale, or remind people that you have things for sale, or just remind people what you do, right? That is the ask. That is the, hey, I've got a book available over on Amazon. If you head over there, you'll find it. Whether you have the link or not, that is a promotion. Once they get to Amazon and they buy it, that is the sale, right? So that's the difference there. Sales, promotion is how you get to the sale. It is the most direct route. I have this thing available over there. You can buy it. Then they go and do it. Marketing is everything else. Marketing is how you earn the right for everything else. Marketing is showing up. It's just showing up. It's just showing up. If you break it all down, it's showing up. It's showing up for your audience. It's showing up for your readership, showing up for your fan base, showing up for your characters, showing up for your business. It's just showing up. It's literally showing up and geeking out about everything you love about what you're doing. And people like it. People show up to watch you do it because you're geeking out about things they want to geek out about. So, yes, marketing leads to promotions that lead to sales is another way to look at it. But if you think about marketing is what earns you the right, because part of the reason why people struggle is they say they struggle at marketing because they don't want to feel salesy. If you are doing the marketing, if you are showing up, you are providing value. Value can mean anything your readers want. It could mean book reviews. It could mean details about your book. It could mean trivia about freaking anything. It could be entertainment. It could be like if you look at some of Jessica Cage on TikTok, what does she do? She does all those stitch prompts, right? She follows the cosplayers, and then they do whatever it is that they do, right? They're dressed up and whatnot, but they might be acting out a scene, or they might just be, trying to act out a scene, but then they fall on their head or whatever. And then she stitches and she comes up with a writing prompt, and she's like typing it up, right? That is all entertainment within her genre. They're all fantasy. Like all of her stitch prompts, she could make them anything. She makes them fantasy. She writes them as if she's out writing a story. And very few of them, I think 3, have become full-blown books and or full-blown stories that she's done. And then Tales of Novia was based on this. But she's showing up. She's giving her readers what they want, which is to see how she gets inspired by different things and coming up with fantasy story ideas. That's just what they want. So if you are constantly showing up and telling people what they want, you just got to figure that part out. You earn the right to say, hey, by the way, I'm an author. Did you know I had a book out? At which point they'll go buy, more than likely, because you showed up for them and they love you for it. And then you can remind them that you're an author, and then they'll go buy your book. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. But once you understand the difference, you can realize you can be really great at marketing and still suck at sales. It's not your fault. It is your fault, but it's not the fault of the marketing at that point. It's the fault of the sales. You have to understand what each of these are. I know so many people who are great at marketing. They're so good at showing up. They're so good at providing that value. They're so good at just doing the thing, and then they constantly forget to do the ask. Constantly. Or they blow the ask because they let that imposter syndrome in, where they've been talking for 3 months about their book coming out, and the book is coming out, and the book is coming out, and I can't wait, and here's all the, here's this character, and here's that character, and you're going to love this. And their people are saying, oh my God, I can't wait. And then they don't put the link out or something, because right at the last minute, they're like, oh, I don't want to feel salesy. You have 5 books out. I know. I don't have all 5. But this one came in a couple days ago. Anyway, yeah. So start. I was in a sleep consult for Connor. Oh. So what we need to do, and what we're going to do, Alex, because we're going to sit down and we're going to do this. Besides the January thing, we're going to sit down and we're going to come up with your marketing plan for 2024. We're going to come up with the marketing plan. We are not necessarily going to come up with your sales plan or your promotion plan, although those will be like sprinkled into it. But we're going to come up with your marketing plan so that you can get on track and stop feeling like you can't promote your book because, you know what I mean? because you should be. You have 5 books. Most authors, not most, that's not true. A lot of authors, once their backlog hits 5 books, if they have a strong enough marketing strategy, they don't go a single day without making at least 1 book sale. Like, it's not necessarily enough to, like, retire on, but they don't go a single day without making at least 1 book sale if their marketing strategy is strong enough. Now, that said, some of them, their marketing strategy is great, but like I said, they blow it at the ask. First sale in 7 days. Ooh. So yeah. So we're going to fix that. But thank you for mine. Well, I say thank you. You didn't give it to me. I bought it. But I'm glad it's there. And I love this. By the way, if you're writing fantasy, please include a map. I can't visualize all these people. I know you are lurking. Terry. I need to figure out when this round of KU is done so I can add them back to draft to digital. You just look it up, I think. I think you can also just cancel it. You don't have to wait until it's done, right? You can go into log into KDP, go into KU for the book that you have. And I think you can just hit cancel and then it'll give you like this warning that says like it's going to last until it lasts. You still can't, you're still under contract to, until this date or whatever, but then it won't automatically renew it. Map is a must-have. Yes, it is. I tried to find that marketing book on the Zon yesterday and couldn't. Really? Rachel Thompson, the 30-day book marketing challenge. I even like when the characters move and the map is on the chapter for reference. On the 17th, sold in 2, then on 22, you got 1. Which reminded I needed to update mine and put a city in the wrong side of the mountains. I want to read everyone's books, but I need to start at book 1, and there's so many series. I have the same struggle, Kimmy. I don't like starting a series in the middle. What I do like, though, and this is weird, right? If I know it's a series, I can't start in the middle. I just can't. I can't do it. If I'm watching someone on TikTok and they're like, blah, 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 book's coming out, and I'm really excited, and then they go, this is the 3rd book in my series. I'm like, I might go looking for the first 2. It depends on how excited I really want book 3, though. Because in my mind, and this is just a me thing, but in my mind, I'm like, but if I was really interested in book 1 and book 2, I would have seen them come out instead of seeing book 3 come out. So that's a mindset thing I have to get over. But I'll go looking and I'll start with book 1. I start there. However, if I just find a book and they're like, blah, 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 book's coming out, yada, yada, and then I buy it and then I read it, and then I find out it was part of a series, I'm even more excited at that point. Somehow, I can't start a book knowing that it's in the middle of a series. I just can't do it. I cannot bring myself to do it. But if I read a book and then find out it was the middle of the series, I get all excited because then I'm like, oh, I get to go find book 1. I'm weird. Rachel Thompson. Post the link for the 30 days into Discord. Oh, great. Thank you. Now I can't remember how to look at where the KU stuff is. Your mind is fried today. I get it. Let's see. Oh my god, I'm tired. All right, so I don't have anything in Kindle Unlimited. Let's see. If I do KDP Select. Oh, you just highlight it, KDP Select. Cancel. Okay, so find the ebook. Find the ebook, right? And then there's that on the right hand side, so it says like Kindle ebook, and then it's got the price, and then it says Kindle ebook actions, and it's filled in and it says promote and advertise. But if you highlight the little menu next to that, there's one that says KDP Select Info. In and amongst all the, edit the book cover, edit the interior file, edit this, edit that. This is KDP Select Info. Click on that and it pulls up, like immediately, it pulls up the page, but then there's a pop-up. Can you see that? Yeah. Then there's a little pop-up that says it's going to start on such and such date. It's going to end on such and such date. And there's a checkbox, automatically renew this book's enrollment in KDP Select for another 90 days. So you can uncheck that box. Oof. Yes, Bad Redhead Media. That's Rachel. That's her book marketing company. I don't remember why she chose Bad Redhead Media, but it works. It is in KU right now. Yes. I have the paperback. I prefer the paperback because I'm ridiculous like that. But it is in KU. I had to wait for them to drop off because it renewed on the 27th. Oh no. But yeah, now you just wait for it. Should check to see if it will still be there in January for our crew. I'll ask her. So excited about everyone's progress, right? How many books have been published in the Discord this year? Do we know? I want to say it's like 12, right? 13? I don't remember. Some of it I'm sad though, because some of our members, like, they stuck with us and then they published and then they were gone. They were like, "Okay, thanks, I'm done, bye." And it's like, oh, like I'm so glad and yay, and they got published and I'm super proud, but also like, oh, they only had the one book in them and that was it. Okay. So my friend Amanda does every time we have to, like, she's like, I'm out. She's like, deuces. I'm like, okay. 33 on the living list. Wow. Is that like since we started? That's more than I thought. Woohoo! What's the living list? The living list is like a wish list since people started to tell you about their books. That's right. Okay. So the living list is kind of like a wish list. Alex has it set up as a wish list on Amazon that has every book any of our authors inside our Discord write and release. As soon as they tell her that the book is coming out or that the book has been set for publish, whether it's like up for pre-order or has already been published, she puts it on the list so that anyone can go and look and find books put out by our Discord. Mm-hmm. $2024 is a leap year. Yes, it is. Posted in the general. Can't wait to get the next one out. But at the same time, I was ready to quit yesterday. Oh no. Well, I'm glad that you're back to can't wait to get the next one out. How many books do you have out now, Dale? 3, right? Two novels, 2 short stories. See, you can't quit till you get at least 20 books out. DJ's is in KU too. Yeah, you can't quit and like, because there's no way to know whether or not you're going to make it. You need at least 20 books out before you can be like, no, being an author really isn't for me. At any point, and before that, you just don't know. I have none unless you count my kids' picture books, no novels. Technically speaking, I mean, I count those because they tell a story and you told the story. So I count those. But if you're going like, I only want to count novels, then okay, but you are writing novels, so book is a book. Mm-hmm. I was going through the first novel on Readsy yesterday, and Grammarly was on the damn ball for me there. The book is on the living list, so it is a book. It is a book. And that's that. The Alex has spoken. Five novels, 1 novella in the past 18 months. Wow. Y'all are amazing. All right. I have to run. I have a client meeting coming up in about 20 minutes. And just, general stuffs to do. So, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning, asking your questions. I hope y'all feel a little bit better about this journey. Don't argue with Alex. Exactly. What she says goes. If she deems it, it is. Okay? I hope y'all have an amazing day, okay? Go get all the words written, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning. All right? Bye.